It is 2022. It is time to stop being such idiots about in-game managerial decisions. But yet, and just like we talk about where defensive metrics are a little bit harder to quantify than the raw offensive and pitching numbers, but you still have to factor it into your handicaps. You still kind of have to factor in these managerial decisions, even though it is very, very hard to do so, much harder than in basketball or in football on a night-to-night basis. So with that all being said, I know it's been somewhat of a slump for you on the picks aspect of it, Adam, but we talk about this. It's a 162-game season. The old saying, handicapping baseball and sweating baseball, you gotta have a revolver and whiskey to do it. What is your advice because I'm sure there's a lot of people as well, going through the same thing right now. You go through a swoon. It's kind of inevitable based on the variance of these games and the day-to-day ebbs and flows of betting baseball. How do you try to handle these and try to tackle it when you're into a little rut like this where it just seems like every single freaking time you need a break, you get something that goes the other way?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's incredibly frustrating. And, the mental health side of betting and handicapping, I think, is something that doesn't get enough run. All these shows nowadays talk, it's all about just giving out picks. It's all about giving out this and giving out that. When the reality of it is, the philosophy of handicapping, the time and the commitments that you make to it, and, the fact that there are a lot of emotions involved, whether that's, in making a bet or in following a bet or something like that. We know of plenty of our friends and colleagues even that have gone on tilt. They get a bad beat and it kind of runs away from them. The mental side of all of this, I think, is paramount to me. As somebody who's been a big proponent of mental health, as somebody who's been treated for mental health things in the past, it's really, really important. And, when you go into a day and you look at the card and you go, what am I going to lose today? How am I going to lose this bet today? Those things that cloud your judgment, make it difficult to do this, you've got to find a way to overcome those. And even after being in this business for the better part of a decade, actually over a decade, I still fall victim to it. And especially when you get some of those things, because the worst thing about this is losing. The second worst thing is knowing that you are putting your money, your hard-earned money, into something that you ultimately have no control over once that game starts. And you have to hope that the players perform and the managers make the right decisions. And when those two things don't happen, it can have a snowball effect. So it's about, kind of keeping things in perspective, stepping away if you need to, taking a day off, just doing things that keep you from kind of getting buried by all of this. Because especially with a 162-game grind over 188 days in Major League Baseball, you're going to have ups and downs.
I cannot echo that sentiment enough. And I think it's a point worth making as we sit here on June the 12th, where and you kind of hear all this basically every season. It's the whole dog days of summer. People get burnt out for betting baseball. Once you have 2 to 3 bad beats for a lot of people, that becomes a tipping point. It's like, I don't want to deal with this anymore. And it's a good conversation to have because there are spots where you get rewarded by doing the work and trusting your own process. It's just the variance is not always going to be on your side, and there will be runs like the runs you're having right now. So it's a very good way of explaining it.